Oh man, this is my jam. Hallelujah by Burna Boy, Oluwa Burna, the Burna we know. Beautiful song, bringing us into our Lifestyle Daily segment. It's time to discuss professional growth. Yes, me be juma na my me to say me to my bedroom. Me yeni me pe behind me babisia professional growth and how to develop in my career. Anyways, joining us this morning for this conversation is our own career coach and communications consultant, Antoinette Jan. Antoinette, good morning.
Good morning, Godwin.
Say I've choked you.
That would
that
I said that.
I'm all over the place. Yes, indeed. How are you doing?
I'm doing
Oh, I
well,
love the
thank
combinations.
Very much.
You see Adidas. Adidas. Come on, Manu. Was that
Oh, mister.
It's good
Nice to see you. It's been a while. How have you been?
True, I'm doing well.
What's new? What's new?
What's new is Odd Numbers. I launched my book, which is exciting.
Come on.
So I'm excited for it. Yay.
Will this be a growth pattern for you in your profession? I mean,
Yes.
launching in the conversation.
Yes.
From the last time we had a conversation and today, what's that growth you can measure in your profession?
So the growth that I can measure, I look at it in terms of impact.
Okay.
So the people that I am working with, my one-on-one clients, the changes that they are seeing, because what we do is we have a journey. So even though you have maybe a 4-month program with me, we work on a 1-year plan. And so within that 1 year, there are things that you are supposed to do. And I have noticed that sometimes by the 6th month, 7th, people are changing jobs, they are growing in their career, they are getting into leadership. So that's exciting for me. And also for me personally, those goals that I set, for example, I said this year I'm going to launch my book.
Yes.
And I've done that. So I'm really excited. And this is what is important for all professionals to be able to set a goal and be able to work towards that.
I mean, we're not discussing the book, but I'm looking at it. I'm sure you've read this part. And what caught my attention is that live your best life. And by the best life that we want to live it all. And it says you deserve better than being unfulfilled. I really love that. And continues to say career coach and communications consultant Antoinette Jan discusses how to develop a meaningful career in this book. A meaningful career. First of all, why odd numbers? Why did you name it odd numbers?
Do you want the real answer?
Please. I would really want
I want
to
the lie first before the real answer.
So the lie is that it has been looked at as a metaphor for making odd choices, making bold choices, doing the unconventional. So that is the lie, that we are part of the odd numbers. We who are bold and plan our career and do the things that we really want to do are part of the odd numbers. So that's the lie.
Where's the reality one?
The truth is that the odd numbers title is coming from the 9 to 5. Those two numbers are odd numbers. Like, you know, a lot of people say, I have a 9 to 5, I have a 9 to 5, I have a 9 to 5. So you start at 9, you end at 5. Those two numbers are odd numbers. And that's how I got the
I
title.
like the title very much. When I met her, instead of going to say hello, was the first thing that caught my attention. The book. We're happy that you brought this out.
No, because you asked me last year. You asked me last year and I said, it's coming.
I said there was too much in you that we could just let go. We needed
said
to
it's
read.
coming. It's coming.
I'm happy to know this. This is physical growth. Some people are not able to measure the growth that is not physical as this one, because even she didn't count this one as her first growth. She's saying the impact. How can I measure impact? If the kind of job or profession or the career, my field that I've chosen is not physical, the impact is not physical. It's how can I really measure it? How do I know that what I am doing, if the purpose of what I'm doing is supposed to impact people, how do I know that I'm really impacting people, which then will help me grow?
Okay, so I'll take you a little bit back. So we've had this conversation before where I said that a job is something that you do to get paid. A career is your lifelong progression, your studying. You know, your career doesn't start when you have your first job. It starts when you make your choice of the course you are going to learn in school. So that stage where all those progressions, how you manage the learning, the growth, all of it is your career. Now, on that journey, you have to set an end point, which means that what am I going to do with this career that I am in? You have a job, you get your money, but you have to think about you as a person, what my contribution is. Your career is how you contribute, how you make meaning. So I know a lot of times people say, okay, so because we just want to survive, we get a job. Yes, but beyond the survival, there should be more. That is why we develop careers. And even if you have a job and you don't do anything, like you don't do anything about your career development, your career will, I don't want to say grow, because if you are staying in one place, it doesn't mean you are static. It means you are going back. Do you understand? And so your career, even if you don't do anything about it, you have built a career of not acting and staying stagnant and going back. So that is what I would say. You have to set an end goal for where you want to go. And a lot of times people don't do that. Some people have the ability to say personally that, okay, I'm going to set this as my end goal. I'm going to do this. But that is why people need guidance and counseling in school. They have to ask the right questions. I have a funny story. And I share it in the book. So the guidance they give you, even in your professional settings, how the organization is helping you to grow, and your own individual agency to be able to say, this is what I need to do. That's your first responsibility.
Antoinette, must you always know, because we hear this a lot of times, not just from exceptional people like you, but also from motivational speakers and all that, must we always know, like the DDOV we've been reading, you don't have to see the whole staircase, just take the next few steps. Must we always see the end goal, that this is where I want to go with my career in order to achieve success in whatever it is I want to do?
The truth is that your career is always evolving. When I started this whole thing, the career wasn't even the first thing. It was contribution towards youth development, because that is where my previous background was, in communication and youth. But you don't always see the end goal. You just have to be able to set the goal, what you see now, and grow from there. So, for example, you have started, I don't know what all your path is, but probably you will say that I want to be a professional actor. As you go on 5 years along the line, you will grow, you will achieve that. What new goal will you set from there? So it's always evolving, it's always changing, and you should keep an eye on that for that growth.
Is diversification a part of it? Because, like you said, the career does not start from the first job. It starts from what you even study in school. So it almost feels like if I studied medicine, then I know that my path is definitely in medicine. So I'm going to be a doctor. Is it possible that in that career, as it is evolving, you probably move away from being a doctor to being, let's say, a motivational speaker?
Why not? Why not? I usually tell people that the career you are in now is not a death sentence. Nobody said that if you start off as a doctor, you should continue to do that. You as an individual, once you introspect and know what it is your talents are, what your skills are, what your career values are. Because sometimes you start off a career and then along the line you realize that the kind of life that career gives you doesn't benefit you for your work-life balance, for example, for your family, for some priorities that you have set in life. So should you, because you have said, and these things are valuable to you and they are important to you, you want to make a decision that is favorable for those things, doesn't mean you should still stay in that something that doesn't serve you. No.
What's the relationship between your area of interest and career? Is there any relationship at all? Like if you have an area of interest and you're in your profession or a career, it's safe to use career and profession, interchangeably. It's safe, madam. So that we're not lashed after the show. But is there any form of relationship at all in your area of interest and your career?
That's a lovely question, Emefa. Because for me, I am confident that when somebody does that, and I think we've said that before here, that's the best. Finding that area that you are interested in, that thing that you are good at. And that is why that guidance and counseling is important, that they ask these children or people coming up the right questions. What are your interests? What are the things that you are good at? What are your values? What are the things that are important to you? Because then you don't go out and go into something that you are uninterested in or something that you don't really love or you are not interested. Then what are you doing? You are always forcing it. And you shouldn't always be forcing something. And if you are forcing something, probably you are not even good at it.
Okay. We stay on that part because you find out that when you're young, your area of interest is quite different. And then some people say that, oh, when I was young, I wanted to do this, but now I don't feel like doing it. Your age, your area of interest, your profession, at what point do you know that you just have outgrown that area of interest? Is it just life happening to you, or genuinely you can outgrow certain things?
It's an individual journey. Some people stick to one thing and they get motivated at it. They stay. Some people even find their things late. The one who started McDonald's started it at 65. Some people find it quite late. Sometimes also, some of the things that you may be doing, you may not find the right reasons. Somebody would say, I want to be a nurse because I want to give an injection when you are young, you know. And as you grow up, you realize that probably that's not the right reason. It's a different idea or mind. Or somebody will say, I want to be a lawyer because I want to defend people, something. I was having a conversation with someone and said, that's why they went into law. The person is in communication now. And then she said, well, after I went there for 5 years, I realized that actually that's not what happens. That's not what...
As you get in before you know that it's not what is.
So sometimes that journey, the ideas that you had along the way, you will learn as you go into it that it's not really what I thought it was. And so then you rediscover yourself and find out what else I can do, or what it is within me that I can contribute. And
borrowing from this odd numbers, so let's do a reality check here, where what your area of interest, your profession, and then the world. Your area of interest, your profession, and your work. Because I like to think that when all is said and done, apart from fulfilling and impacting life with your area of interest or career and profession, you want to really be able to survive as human anyway. All right. And so what can we say? I mean, for you, what can you say about what points these two would meet?
you know, this is an interesting question, and everybody is different. There are some people, and these are exceptional people. They set goals, they set dreams, and said, me and you will die here. I have examples like Elon Musk. In Ghana, one person that I see, and it's my good friend, Chief Moment. He says, you and I would die here.
Me and my dreams.
Me and my dreams, we would die here. I love him. Hi, Chief. So there are people like that. They are exceptional footballers. They say, me and you, this dream, we will be here. We will do what it takes.
Your friend.
I'm just going to go into that.
That's why I was smiling at you.
To piggyback on that question.
I was smiling at you. So there are those people. Not everyone can be like that. The reality is that we get jobs because we have to survive. We have to feed our families. That's being responsible. And so that side is there. There are people who will decide that I will do X and Y for 10, 15 years, make some money, and go and do what I want to do later. And because then now I've established myself, I have the comfort, I'll be able to build it up from there. There are those ones. And there are those ones who would fight through it and eventually succeed. These are individual choices. And also with proper guidance from a professional, you'll be able to make the right decisions when it's necessary to make a pivot, when it's necessary to transition. All those are there. But it's up to you, the individual, to decide how you want to go about it. There are some people who just say that, I just want to survive, so I'm not going to chase any dream. This is what I get, and they do it for 30 years. For when you do that, we have a question for you. Because on the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, when we have the beyond the basic, there is more. So if you stay at the basic, you are doing yourself a disservice, because I believe that as humans, we need to be able to grow. Growth is the only way. And so beyond that basic, and after you've done something for 20, 30 years, I think you should move beyond survival. I feel.
Yeah,
I
to get to at
feel-
least where you want us to get to self-actualization. Like
Not
between
everybody.
20 there.
No, not every.
It's a long time. It's a long time to
It's a long time to get actualized,
yes,
right?
It's a long time. And so
Okay.
that is the point. So I'm not saying that don't survive, but it's also about thriving.
Yeah.
And also finding, that is what shows that you've grown as a person, right?
I have another question.
I think he had something on
Yeah.
the first one.
Yeah,
No,
his friend who's a
piggyback,
footballer.
Yeah, you answered it. Yeah. Who is still pursuing
Who's
football? I
pursuing.
think he's still pursuing football.
Yeah.
And you know the thing with football. Yeah. He's my mate. Okay. Look at me. I mean, we're in our almost in our mid-30s, and he's pursuing football. And in football, when you're nearing 40, that's when you're getting ready to retire. And he still
the
hasn't
fact that
seen the big break that he wants to see.
And the fact that your profession depends on getting lucky.
That's the thing. It's almost like, even with what I do as an actor, there are people who have been acting for years and still nobody knows about them. Like, they haven't broken through, they haven't made a name. Music, same. You know, what happens to such a person? I, for instance, I've said this before, I wanted to be a soldier as part of what I do. I wanted to be in the army. But there's a cutoff age for being in the army. When you pass that cutoff age and you never enter the army, what do you do with such
Security
a passion? What do you do with such a passion? You know, so there are things that realistically you won't be able to pursue for some natural reasons. Like what we were just saying, the football. Once, no team is taking on anybody past 36, 37, 38.
You know, when you said about the soldier thing, it just crossed my mind that, you know, no talent is wasted, no passion is wasted. There would be something within that soldier thing that attracted you. Maybe it's about investigation or intelligence, something about that thing. And then sometimes...
Honor.
Honor.
Yes.
I see. That's why you have the honor on the...
I mean, yes, on the screen.
On the screen.
You guys are
I do, but-
you've not acted like a soldier yet.
Oh, wow, I will soon.
They don't know that was your first
They
love.
have no idea. Now we said it. So.
Because I think if you know now, they'll let you act and then
I'll feel my soldier.
fine.
I enjoy my soldier, eh?
So, and underneath, that's what I'm saying, like, underneath that goal that you set, there is a reason, and you should find a way to be able to...
Antoinette,
we're going to come back
We're
just
gonna come back to
shortly.
you, yeah.
Please stay. We're back shortly. Okay.
And then skydiving, did you jump from the rock and everything? It's scary.
Well, the two of them have ganged up against me here, but welcome back to the show. Still on Lifestyle Daily, proudly supported by Floral Tissue right here. But so we're talking about Godwin wanting to be a military man, and it didn't happen. And Antoinette is trying to juxtapose that your friend who wants to play football and is still pursuing it, and trying to figure out what is in that profession that you always wanted to do, that if you didn't get there, we can dissect it. Let's do some surgical operation on this
like
table.
the doctor that you wanted to be.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good one. Touche.
Touche.
But to see, let's finish the military one, and the footballer will come to me.
Okay, so with Godwin, I was saying that there's an underlying reason. We have to find a real reason. And you said it's honor.
Yeah.
So if it's really honor, you have to find a way to get the honor once you've passed that cut-off age. And then for that, in that sense, it's meaningful for you.
Yeah.
And it returns some joy to you. The thing about your friend doing football, I've told you there are people who said me and the dream
We are
would
dying
die
together.
here. So it might be a case of that. And sometimes with these things, there's a thin line between a person's faith and faith. So I've seen, I don't remember the name. If I knew we were going to have this conversation, I would have brought the name. But I think in American NBA, there is a guy who also got the break very late, like when he was in the 30s, and now he's doing well. Even if his playtime is 4 years, he has fulfilled it. But I think that we shouldn't also lose sight on the fact that you have to start from having your basic needs met, and then before going higher. So this person, if he has a side job, something that sustains him as he's still pursuing that, then that's a good way to do, because
My nephew doesn't have anything sustaining him. He knows how to cook fried rice. I said we should start fried rice food by the roadside, check. He says no. He says no. He still wants to play football. So the reality check. The reality check.
Yes.
This person should continue pursuing, or he can be pursuing and be doing this other thing. What if you start the other thing and your interest gets heightened, and then you start to give? You can't do a 50-50. You can't do a 50-50.
now
Yeah.
in the
In
So
the-
he has to wake up in the
he has
morning
to
to go
wake up.
jogging, to go train. Now he has to stop and then start his fried rice business or start
Because
his
if
food business.
that done too, you have to cut the onions and ginger and things for the. Do you use ginger for fried rice? Do you understand me?
So the point is, I've said, you can't jump to the top when you haven't yet done the bottom.
Okay.
The bottom is the basic.
Okay.
The surviving first.
Yes, by all means.
So by all means, if you have a support system and they are helping you and they say, we support your dream, we are going to help you to do it, then do it. But you don't say, if you're hungry, you can't go and do what you have to do. So you start from where, I feel like saying something in the Bible. You start from, but I don't remember. You start from where is needed, then you go to.
I see that Antoinette is really focused on the Maslow's theory. It's a triangle, if you know.
Yeah.
And the basic needs is always at the down there, right? Well, you have to satisfy that need before you go to the place that gives you self-actualization. But this your friend, just in case he misses and all of that, something about football. Like, he can start producing jerseys, right?
Actually.
Can be a coach.
He can also be a coach. He can be
a coach.
It's never lost.
Pathways.
Some way that will be linked to
It's always, and that brings us to a good point. It's always good to know what your career options are. Because if you have one talent, if you have a talent to say you are good in communication, there's not only one path. There is journalism, there is corporate comms, there is communication for development, there is MCN. There are a lot of
There's a
things
lot. You have to look at.
So you have to look at what the underlying factor is. Why are you
Bring your finger
disturbing
down.
him?
So
I don't know. What's this hand?
So the
When she
military,
feels like bullying people, that's what she does.
So the military, that he didn't go to. What are the options? Because I'm saying he can go for security training.
Maybe that is not the real. You see,
I
that's why
could be a
I
bodyguard
said.
too. I mean, hey.
That's why I say you have to find the real reason. So you brought yourself. That's why you have to find the real reason, the underlying factor.
Yeah.
What is your real reason? Once you find that real reason, you can look at what options are available to you. And then
Antoinette, let me ask you this question, please. What is a meaningful career?
A meaningful career is something that gets you to the goal that you have set, the point that you have set. As I said, some careers are not planned. So if it is not planned, it is less likely to be meaningful. But if you have planned it and it looks a certain way to you, then you know that you are working towards that goal. And you set that goal with an objective that, okay, this is what I want to achieve. So if you are getting closer to that thing, it makes meaning to you. Meaning is the point that you have set.
Okay. What then will be a successful career? So a successful career, well, let's just, again,
Must you be happy?
what, for a successful career, which we're hoping that this growth conversation we're having, you want to wake up one day and say that, okay, after all is said and done, I've had a successful career. Because it doesn't end at professional growth or career growth, right? So will a successful career be what you wanted to achieve, or what the industry of what you wanted to achieve says is success?
For MFA, for success, nobody can tell you what success is. You determine, you as the individual will determine what success is. Otherwise, then your life is being determined by what people say.
But are there not standards too?
There are, but we have a situation where people have told us a lot of things that become a doctor. That is what it means, fulfillment. Become this, what it means. Whereas you as the person, it doesn't mean like that. When you asked me what growth means for me, I told you what is meaningful for me. What is meaningful for me is the contribution that I am making. And that is, for me, is the biggest success. And so, let me answer that question. And so, if you say what is successful, you know, when you start your career you've chosen your course, you've started at the beginning, at your early stages, then between 25, 35 exploration, you come to mid-career, 35, 45, then late career, then retirement. Throughout the points, in the beginning, the very early stage where you are 18, 21, you are finding your feet, so you are not really, you don't know what you are doing. Basically, some people do, but you don't really know what you are doing. Exploration stage. As you go along, you set goals, and these goals evolve over time. And so, as you go along, you will determine that, okay, for me, I want to use my career to contribute to the growth of X and Y, Z. Or I want to use my career to make sure that I produce good music. Or I want to use my career for advocacy. So at the end of your career, if you have set some goals for what is meaningful for you, when you look back and see that, oh, when we started off, this is where we are. But as I worked within the industry, or I contributed X and Y, this is what I've been able to achieve, then that is success for you.
I'm taking it all in. Like, I'm taking it all in, meaningful. Meaning, it has to make meaning to me. So if someone sets out and says, I want to be a politician, I want to be a big-time politician, and for some reason, in pursuit of that career, they end up being just let me not use the word just, because for them, maybe being an MCE is a big deal. So the person ends up being an MCE or a DCE somewhere, and that's all they achieve. They don't get to the point of being a minister or being a president or being a vice president and all that. And they feel that that is enough for them, then that is a meaningful career for them.
You know, when people go for events and they are guest speakers and they are introducing them, ladies and gentlemen, let's now welcome Mr. Gordon Nambo, who's been a practicing doctor for 10 years and has worked with this Kolebu Teaching Hospital, has performed about 130 surgeries with a success rate of 100 and all of that. All of these things, yeah, Gordon has achieved. But is it not that the accepted standard of what we call success is what we conferred on him?
But, you know, it could be that. But to Godwin himself, does he
That's
even,
not-
if he doesn't, somebody may be looking at it that way. But if he doesn't even feel like really these are the things
Success, it is their concern. If we say I've done,
and the person doesn't feel that way. So it's important that individuals set their career goals. But what is the missing link is often we just leave it. We don't
tell ourselves what.
Yes. And so then when you, at the end of the day, you sit down and you feel empty.
yeah.
Because you don't know what meaning you gave to something, or you don't know what goal you want to go somewhere. You don't know where you want to go.
I
So
agree.
when everybody is getting down at a bus stop, you also get down, only
That's
to
very
know
true.
that that's not your destination.
I told somebody to help me design a portfolio about myself, and when it came, they wrote philanthropist, and I said, "What's that? Please take it out, because I don't see myself as that." So that person is seeing me in a certain light, and yet that's
Don't
not
see
how I
yourself
define
that way.
myself. So I said they should take it out. So I think I really understand what you've been trying to say. Final question will be, if you work with a company that's supposed to contribute to your growth, and the leaders of the company or whoever you're working with is a techie, crew. When they see people, then they open their is it wings or whatever it's. So basically, when you have a leader that's a techie, you can't soar. You can't really
Sort of
get to the top. They sort of
you.
like, how do you manage that situation?
That is a situation that happens a lot. That happens a lot with many people. And it's unfortunate because we have leadership gap. There are several leaders that need to understand what the unique role of leadership is and how they have this important point to help people to get to their best point or to soar. And so when you have people like that, you have to know what your career is and what you are going to do with that career. Because when you go and fight with your manager, you can't win. You can't. People need to understand that.
Definitely not.
I've written a blog, I think about a month ago. I said, date your boss. Date your boss. No. Date your boss. Like, when you are dating, when you are dating people, you try to be cordial with them. You try, because when you go and fight with them, you can't win.
Of course.
And so you have to know what your plan is. If this person will never help you to shine, then it means that you have to find an exit. It doesn't mean just go and say, bullshit, I resign without a plan. So that is what I would say.
Antoine, you have a new girlfriend.
I really date him.
You should.
Yeah,
you
I
should,
date
though.
him because I figure out his mood, and the day he doesn't feel like speaking big English, then
Yeah,
you can go and engage him.
convince him.
Otherwise, you are dead. You walk out of the office being convinced instead. But guys, this is our friend's book, highly recommended. When you get the book, read the back and jump to 3.7. You named it 3.7. I am not my hair. Read that one first and come and start
Speaking
from the
of which,
beginning.
2 successful short hairs.
Okay, get this book. Where can we get the book?
You can get it at Vidya Bookstore in Osu, or you can go to antoinejan.com and then order from my store. You can also get it from Amazon and several other book online stores.
Beautiful. I am not my hair.
IBAAfrica.com
You see me tall,
too.
shiny, lovely. Guys, that's it for today. We would continue this conversation by all means. The year has not ended. We'll come and take stock about how your profession has been growing, okay? Thank you so much, Antoine. It's always a pleasure. You're such a lovely... What's wrong with you?
IBAAfrica.com.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the professional good you're talking about, you see what I'm doing?
And this is what you wanted to go to the military. They'll suck you. Guys,
All right.
stay with us. Fashion Wednesday coming up.